language of the youth, and they look up to you, say, I can relate to him better. So they might take it from you rather than taking it from someone else.
That's true. But alhamdulillah, now more and more we have contemporary, well-spoken, articulate, young, American scholars that are up and coming. And I think they should be put on the spot on these kinds of issues too. But nonetheless, I'll define some very basic essentials. Hijab, all the differences, additional opinions aside, the minimum is the hair to be covered and of a loose cloth that covers the front, the chest of the woman in a loose way. The jilbab is the second item of clothing, and by the way, the hijab, the Quranic term for that is khimar. Khimar. Khimar comes from the word khamr, and the word khamr literally means to cover something. From it also comes the word, khamr is also the word for alcohol. Why? Because it covers your intellect. You can't think straight, which is a beautiful word, because then people ask, is beer okay? Because I'm not drinking wine. Khamr means wine. Anything that overshadows your intellect, in the least bit, is khamr automatically. So it takes care of that issue. But regardless, khimar means something that covers, and that's for the top garment. Then it comes for the garment of the rest of the body. It's supposed to be an outer garment, jilbab, something that covers over. The way that's been interpreted essentially is something that's some basic conditions. One, it's not form-fitting, it's loose, and it goes down, in some debate whether it goes down to half the shin or all the way down to the ankle, but regardless, it's pretty long. It's a long overgarment that is not form-fitting. Then there's also debate about whether is it one piece or two pieces. Is it one long piece and one shorter piece? Does it have to be one long piece? And these are academic discussions. But the main point is it has to be loose and not form-fitting at all.
Say that again, loose?
Loose, not form-fitting, and an outer garment.
Form-fitting, shape of the body?
Right, so it can't be tight clothing, it can't be the shape of the body.
So these precious things that should be maybe for your husband, not every, Tom, John can see that.
Yeah, and that makes absolute and complete sense, because the Prophet ﷺ, in a very famous hadith, actually cursed a category of women. Kasiyat, ariyat, he called them. Dressed but naked. He called them dressed but naked. And what that meant was form-fitting, see-through kinds of clothes, etc. These are the women
that... see-through?
See-through. No see-through, right.
Tight jeans? Some people like...
If you want to
say jeans,
If you want to wear them, put an overcoat on top or something, or put something longer on top or whatever.
So you don't see this.
Nothing
showing the shape.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's, that's the basic definition to a modest Muslimah, is something that she doesn't even have to do research for. She just has to ask herself, if I was standing in front of my father, in front of my brother, would I be the least bit embarrassed? Would I be the least bit uncomfortable? Now, for some people, they've lived around them in a life of shamelessness for so long that their sense of shame has died. So they say, yeah, I have no problem standing like this in front of my father. But for people that have a sense of modesty, they know. They know they're about to go to a party, they're dressed a certain way, and if their mother saw them, their father saw them, their older brother saw them, their uncle saw them, they'd be embarrassed, they'd be taken back. Well, you know what? If your personal conscience is sounding off the alarm, you're probably on the wrong track. I mean, there's a fatwa being passed, there's a legal verdict being passed by your own conscience. So these legal discussions aside, it's just a matter of just dressing respectfully and not exposing yourself in a way that's not becoming of a decent woman and a believer.
An attitude, the good persona that comes with it, because some people argue that, hey, she's wearing the right hijab, but she don't have the right attitude. I've seen this girl who is wearing hijab, and she's doing worse than the one who's not.
Actually, you bring up a really good point.
We're almost out of time, so I need you to just...
So let me make this point really concise. On the other end of the aisle are people that aren't observing these things, any aspect of religion. Let's take hijab in this case as a discussion. And they point at people that are wearing hijab but have a bad attitude, or they're messed up in some other way, and they backbite, or they're dating, or whatever else they're doing that's messed up, even though they have the hijab on, and they got the outer garment on, and everything, right? Just like people misbehaving are not a source of discouragement for me that is trying to behave, just like that people that are misbehaving can't quote bad examples and say, therefore, I don't have to answer to God. You're not responsible because you saw a good example or a bad example. The example's already been revealed. The sample has already been revealed. The role models have already come and gone. Last point I'm trying to make. We don't look for role models that are around us. The very first surah of the Quran tells us to look for role models that have already left. الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ. The path of those who you already showered, past tense. Not those who you shower right now, because I don't know if they're going to be on the right path tomorrow. We look for righteous guidance in those in the past. The entire Quran is full of stories of those who already passed. That's what we're supposed to look for pillars of guidance, not anybody else. When we anchor our hopes in them, we're constantly disappointed, and then we end up losing our faith ourselves.
A couple more points. We're almost out of time.
Sure.
Tell us now, please. You mentioned some sisters who know about hijab, they know the verdict, they know this is something that is compulsory on every Muslim woman, and they take it off, let's say. But now you see them take it off. Should we encourage the sisters who are wearing it, but they see educated, let's say a sister, she just took it off, can this be a test from Allah? Because this life is a test. And let's say if everyone and their mother took it off, you be the one that keeps it on, because it's a test. And can Allah be testing you through those people?
That's
and
correct.
created them just for that specific person to test you, and now you, because 50 people took it off, you take it off too. You fail in the test.
And the other thing that happens is a girl takes it off, whatever she's going through, and the other girls in her circle that are still wearing hijab, they start looking at her funny, and she goes, oh, they look at me funny, I don't even want to hang out with them. So she finds different company. Now she doesn't even have someone to remind her. And it's the fault of those other girls that do wear hijab that became judgmental all of a sudden. They should have been supportive at that time. That's what community is. A cult judges people that become different. A community takes in people that are fallen and says, let me get you back up. You know, we have to be communities. We can't turn into cults. We can't turn into cliques that people avoid us because they don't want to be judged. That by definition means we've turned into a cult. So if you have a sister in your group that has become like that, you have to reach out and befriend her and not discuss hijab. Just be a friend. All she needs is a friend right now. She doesn't need a lecture about why she should put hijab on. She already knows that. What she needs right now is just some comfort and somebody to be able to relate to. And eventually, when her heart softens, and that's up to Allah, may Allah Azza wa Jal bring her back to committing herself to all aspects of the deen, including the hijab.
Thank you so much for finding the time to be with us.
Barakallahu feekum.
Inshallah, we look forward to have you back again
Great
on
to
the
be
Deen
back.
Show.